Hello, friends. A warm welcome to the Wellness Inspired Podcast, the place where you can find inspiration, motivation, empowerment in the pursuit of a wellness lifestyle. I'm your host, Sherry Davidson. I'm a wellness coach and an acupuncturist in Houston, Texas, and deeply passionate about health and well-being. And as always, I'm here with my terrier mix rescue dog and co-host Finn. He is also my coworker, therapy dog, trail runner, and forever loyal sidekick. Today, we are going to talk about the herb Rhodiola rosea. This herb has traditionally been used in Russia and other Scandinavian countries to combat stress and fatigue. It is known as the golden root or the Arctic root because it grows in colder climates. So we use rhodiola in Oriental medicine, and it is called Huangjiantian. However, it's a different species than Rhodiola rosea, but there are some overlaps in the functions. So in recent years, rhodiola has gained a lot of popularity in the United States for its health benefits. And I had the pleasure of sitting down and having a conversation with Jason Ritter of Alaska Borealis Mountain Farms about the power of this adaptogenic herb, Rhodiola rosea. He is in Alaska, so we did this interview on Zoom. I'm in Houston, so that was how it had to be. So please excuse any sound quality differences. I think it sounds pretty good, but just in case there are some differences that you hear, it was on Zoom. And before we jump into the conversation, I also want to mention that I will be heading out on another running adventure to the Azores in Portugal. I'm hoping not to miss a beat here, but when I get back, I will have an episode or two on my running adventure in the Azores. I'm super excited, so please stay tuned for that. Okay, let's do this. Hi, Jason. How are you? Welcome to the podcast.
Hi, Sherry. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Well, I'm excited to have you on today because we're going to talk about one of my favorite subjects, and that is herbal medicine. We met at an expo. I have to say, a very bad expo, but I met you there. So there's some silver linings, and you live in Alaska and you're the owner of Alaska Borealis Mountain Farms. You grow organic rhodiola and produce full spectrum product there in Alaska, right?
Yeah, that's right. I grow rhodiola rosea in Alaska here in Homer, Alaska. I do most of the farming here, but the extract, actually, the extraction part of it, I actually send the plant to a friend's lab in Kentucky where we use their certified supercritical CO2 machine to extract our rhodiola. So it's a pure, clean, non-alcohol product.
That's right. I don't know why I thought you did it there, but I remember you telling me it was in Kentucky. Yeah. So you grow the rhodiola in Alaska on your farm, and then you ship it to Kentucky, and that's where they do the extraction.
Yeah, for now, until I can get all the money it would need for a lab of that magnitude, which comes slowly.
Yeah. And will you do it there on the farm?
Eventually, at some point, I would like to, but
yeah. Okay. Well, very cool. Well, I definitely want to talk about the CO2 extraction because I believe that is what makes your product unique and kind of sets you apart from other rhodiola products. So, but first, I want to talk about the herb itself. Rhodiola is considered an adaptogenic herb, and adaptogenic herbs are believed to help the body adapt to stress and overall balance the body and well-being. It's known to reduce fatigue, improve energy levels, enhance mental clarity and focus, boost the immune system, support healthy hormone balance, reduce inflammation, and improve physical endurance and performance. And you might have another explanation of adaptogenic herbs, so please share if you do. We use some adaptogenic herbs in Chinese medicine, and we use ginseng, wujia, gansao, and we also have a rhodiola, which I looked up. But I found that it was a different species than the one that you grow, and it's a different species, but their appearance and their health benefits do overlap. And our herb, our rhodiola, is called
Huang Jing Tian is what it's called in Chinese. But introduce yourself because we want to hear about Rhodiola rosea. And so tell us a little bit about the rhodiola that you grow, the environment that rhodiola likes to grow in, and some of the health benefits of rhodiola. But tell people about your business first and your farms.
So I guess I started growing rhodiola about 5 years ago. It is now. Rhodiola takes about 5 years to grow. I have harvested early, just to harvest because the plants looked like they were ready to be harvested. But now I kind of wait till 5 years to get the root, about the largest mass that I can.
Well, so hold on. So it takes 5 years to grow it?
And cultivation, and 20 years in the wild, at least.
Wow. So you don't have a problem in Alaska during the winter, or I mean, it just grows all year.
Well, so that's the unique thing about this plant, that it likes to grow in high altitudes and cold climates. So it's great here in Alaska. It grows in China. It does grow inside Siberia. So it grows such high altitudes that it's usually a lot of snow. So the plant actually gets about 6 weeks or so a year to actually grow. So when the snow starts to melt out around from the plant, from the shoots, it's growing in the snow actually. So like the snow is like melting around it, and the shoots are already starting to green up and come alive. And then it grows for about 6 weeks, and then about the heat of the summer, about mid-July, sometime in early August, it seeds out and it goes dormant.
Oh, interesting. How big does it get?
It goes about 18 inches tall or so. But it doesn't get real tall. What you want is it just to keep making more shoots.
Oh, okay.
And that increases
Interesting.
the size of the root ball that you're trying to harvest.
So it likes cold weather, but it goes dormant. And so when it goes dormant, it's not producing any of the shoots. Is that what I would understand?
Yeah. So since the plant, it's kind of like the best analogy I can give. It's kind of like an autoflower, like a hemp seed would be. It's like it's not. It has a certain timeline when it seeds to when it seeds out to when it grows. So you have, when it comes alive for the summer, it's about 80 days, and then it's done. So it just grows really fast. And then,
Interesting.
so it's kind of like a regenerative thing, as far as the plant knows that winter's coming back soon. And so it gets as big as it can, and it seeds out, it flowers, and then it produces seed as quick as it can to let the seed hit the ground, let the birds carry it, let the wind carry it, just so it can scatter.
Interesting. So how big is your farm?
So I lease, it's a 640 acre farm, but I only grow, it's a slow process with the rhodiola, putting it in. Currently, there's about 10,000 plants on this property. We had it a few years. So this property is a work in progress.
Yeah. So you said it takes about 5 years. So after 5 years, do you pull the plants up and then replant, or is it something that you can continue to grow?
Yeah, so after 5 years, so before I harvest the plant, I'll pull one, and you can break it open, and you can smell how pungent the smell of roses is. So this plant, being called Rhodiola rosea, which makes it stand, the rosea part of it, which makes it stand out, is it smells like roses. So if you take the root and you crack it open and you smell it, it's like this rosy, earthy smell. And so I'll crack it open and I'll smell it, a couple different plants. And if it's got the real nice smell that I'm looking for, then I'll send some into the lab and have it analyzed to see where the rosavins and the sligicide content is. And those are the two biggest marker compounds that we're looking for. There's a lot of other things in that plant as well. There's terpenes. There's a whole long list of different things that make up this plant. First and foremost, I'm not a doctor. I'm a farmer. This stuff I'm learning as I go. But I've been taking rhodiola for about 6 years. It's helped me out tremendously.
Yeah, and how's it helped you?
It helps me with kind of like ADHD and kind of like Asperger's kind of syndrome, to where so I get hyper focused and overwhelmed on certain things, but I'm very focused on other things. And like, so rhodiola helps me, like, for instance, like at like the expo, like talking to people. It's something I don't do very well. And so rhodiola's help calm me, gives me that switch to where I don't have to look for an exit. Lets me kind of lets me ground myself and like, okay, you're here. It's okay. You can you can do this.
Yeah. So how did you get into it?
Into the rhodiola? Yeah. So basically looking for something that helped with, before I kind of knew, some of the things that I went through. I just thought I was just, it's a hard time doing things. And then someone had mentioned rhodiola and I tried it. And I was like, wow, it gives me a switch to where I can turn things on and off. If I don't want to think about things anymore, I can turn it off. I don't get overwhelmed by over analyzing things. So then I started researching, and it grows in cold climates. And there was another person that started a rhodiola growing movement in Alaska, and I spoke with them about it, and they give us the most information they had, which they didn't have much because it was so new, and it's still so new. We're still trying to figure it out. So I guess I tried it at work. It helped me. And then I learned that they were actually growing in Alaska. And so I was, wow, I gotta, it's right up my alley in the farming industry, farming world. And it's a niche nobody else is doing. So it's kind of like, okay, let's see if we can figure this out.
Yeah. So how many products are on the market? Do you know?
Oh yeah. If you can go to any grocery store and go to the supplement section, you will find rhodiola rosea in just about any one of them across the United States. Most notably, you'll find Gaia Herbs is one, GAIA Herbs. They're a good company. They do really nice stuff. There's Herb Farm. They make some tinctures and things. But what sets mine apart is that mine is grown, it's certified organic. We know where it comes from. It doesn't have heavy metals, doesn't have pesticides. Being extracted the way that it is using the CO2, we're getting more out of this plant than they've ever got out before. In my opinion, most generally it's an alcohol extract. They soak in alcohol, and then after like 6 weeks or so long, then they basically drink it like a tonic. Well, it takes our extraction. It takes a few weeks. It's not overnight. We use almost a triple extraction method, kind of proprietary, that it took me about a year to figure out how to do. Rhodiola is not the easiest to extract, to say that. So what, I guess I got a topic. Back to the stores and what's on the shelves. So there's different ones. You'll find rhodiola that's in a capsule, that's ground up powder. That's what you notably find is the ground up powder. You'll see something that says a standardized of 3% rosavins, 1% solidaricide. But if you were to take those on the shelf and send them into a lab, they won't be that. That's just a kind of a marketing gimmick, in my opinion. From what I've seen and all the plants I've harvested and all the rhodiola that I've had tested, we see stuff in like the close to 3% range, but it's always 3% to 2%. So 3% rosavins, 2% solidaricides. It's never the 3-to-1 that you see and hear about all the time. So with our extract, I just call it a full spectrum. I don't isolate. I don't pull any markers out. It's purely unadulterated. What squishes out of the vessel, and after we get it extracted, they send it out, have it tested. I get the analysis back. That lets us know how potent it is and how much to put in each serving. I guess one more thing quickly, the powder capsules, so the first time I tried to extract rhodiola, I failed. I went through the machine and everything looked great. Sent it in for analysis. There was no rosavins or solidaricides. I sent in the spent material that I thought was void of it. Now it was still full. So after running for an hour and a half at roughly 4,000 psi, this plant was still holding on to its constituents. It would not let it go. And I was like, well, if at 4,000 psi for an hour and a half. If this plant won't release the most incredible stuff it has, then if you take dry product out of a capsule that has been extracted, the chances of you getting the benefit from the plant is not very good.
That's interesting because because our digestive system probably won't pull that out if this machine can't pull it out. Is that what you're saying?
Correct. Exactly.
Yeah.
Correct.
Oh, that's interesting. We use a lot of herbs, powdered herbs in Chinese medicine. And it makes me think, like what people are actually getting from the herbs. If you have found that with rhodiola, is rhodiola hard? Is it a hard, is the root really, really hard? Is it like a ginseng?
No, it's not hard. It's actually, I guess what's gonna be the best consistency would be, gosh, you can tear it, you can cut it with a knife, and you can tear it apart. I'm trying to think the best analogy to use. Like a potato. Potatoes are good.
Like ginger, like potato and ginger are kind of the same.
And that, yes, for sure. So what we'll have to do is after we harvest the plant, it'll come out. We'll pull it out of the ground with the lifter. It's kind of a shaker, and it pulls it out, sits on the ground. From there, we'll wash it and slice it and dehydrate it, and then powder it. And then after it's powdered, then we'll have to go through the process of extraction for a few weeks. And then after that, after it's extracted, we've double tested ourselves with our lab that we use to test. And they use their method, we use our method, and we're about 98% efficient on the extraction. So really confident, and we're getting all we can get out of that plant.
So just explain, like you're explaining to a child the actual CO2 extraction, like what is that process? Because you said that you use powder. For some reason, I was thinking that you were just using the herb itself, like the raw herb itself, and not making it into a powder first. So can you just talk a little bit about that in a very simple way that I can understand?
Sure. So rhodiola has about 88% water. So if 1 pound, 80% of that pound is water for shipping. And also when you have a lot of water and after it's harvested, you'll start to get microbial problems, especially if you start to sit in the sun, or you gotta be careful with the microbes. They will start to get in there and cause a problem. It's really important in the whole process from harvest to extraction, everything's controlled, and you have to keep an eye on everything. It's really important that after you harvest it and you wash it, that it's dried immediately and quickly. It can't be at a low heat for extended amount of time, because that's what it breeds. Excuse me, it's what it breeds. It's a petri dish for things to grow that you don't want to grow.
Yeah.
So so if I had an extract machine close by, there's a potential chance that we could just chop it up, throw it in there. But the problem is, it's just at that point it's bulky. So by getting rid of the water and drying it down, now you have chips that are like potato chips, and they crack. They're about 10% or less of water moisture at that point, or maybe 6 to 8%. And from there, it's still kind of bulky. So to maximize the use of the machine by grinding it into more of a powder, it fits. You can run more to the machine at one time than you would if it was just in like rough chip form.
That makes sense. Okay. So you just ship that to Kentucky and they do it for you. How much do you ship at a time?
The last time I sent was 250 pounds.
Wow. And so how much product does that make?
That will make, well, we haven't, it's right in the middle of the processing that right now. But I think the last year we harvested, I did 60 pounds to see just those kind of like, that was our first, like, let's see how this works with in a big scale. So at 60 pounds, we got, I think just about 5 kilos, I think, just over around 12 pounds ish.
Wow.
Of extract. So you take from the 60 to down from 10 to 12 pounds, like, call it that. So now the 250. So basically, you're looking at 5-to-1. Basically, we'll just make it simple.
Yeah, yeah. Well, you never think about what really goes behind making products. You don't really, no one really sees that piece of it, and it's a lot of work.
Yeah. So I guess back to your original question of like what is CO2? How's all this stuff work? And simplistically, so from the harvest, the washing, the slicing, the drying, the powdering, we're doing is condensing that down, so it's easier for shipping, and we can use it in the machine faster. So once it gets to the machine, it goes into a sock. The sock is then put into a vessel, and then you put the lids back on, and then you start the machine. And the machine basically it circulates CO2. When you take CO2 and you pressure it up to, there's subcritical CO2 and there's supercritical. When you go to supercritical, the gas becomes a liquid, and the liquid basically it circulates through the sock at the higher pressure, and it pulls all the constituents out. The rhodiola has the resins, the sligicides, the terpenes, the different alcohols, and the different things that it has in it, and it drops it into a lower, at the very bottom of the machine. It has like a catch basin, like an area for all the materials to be caught, and then it turns back to a gas and goes back up, gets compressed again, back to a liquid. So basically, for an hour and a half, it's just this liquid being squished through the sock that's pulling the good stuff from the plant and leaving it in a catch basin, if you will. And then at that point, after it's over, you pull it out, then you have this molasses, honey consistency. It's very, very thick. And then from there, we'll have it tested, and then we can mix it. So it's that's one thing about ours is every batch is this, even though different lot numbers might be slightly different in potency, but doing all the testing, each product has the same amount of rhodiola in it.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
I think so. So even though the potency could be different, but it has the same amount of rhodiola in each.
Right.
Batch,
so
is what I'm hearing.
Yeah. So say if because it's farming, you never know. It's not magic. It's never gonna. It's not like Legos. You're gonna plant it and have the same every time.
Right.
We've had some higher years and some lower years. For example, the prior year I had 2.75% rosevins, which was pretty high, and then the year after I had 1.85%, so it was lower. But by having an analysis of knowing, okay, it's lower, so just by doing some simple math, okay, we need to add so much more of this product to equalize it.
I see. So you're getting the same no matter what batch, but behind the scenes, you have to make up for that, whatever the outcome is.
Exactly.
I see. Yeah. How did you find the CO2 extraction?
So I did some reading on it for a while, and then I ran into some folks in Kentucky that were hemp farmers. And I said, you know what, it'd be great if we put my stuff and your stuff together. And they're about half crazy, I think, like I am. And they were all excited, like, let's try it. Like, we got nothing to lose. Let's, something else that's not on the market. Let's try it. And so we, the first year we tried, we didn't succeed. We ran the machine and we weren't successful, but as they say, if you fail, try again. We know it was possible, but we just had to go back to the drawing board and do some things that were different. So basically, they use the machine for extracting hemp, and that's where I also grow hemp. I helped them with some of their hemp projects over the years. It kind of just one of those things that it's kind of a chance meeting, and then it's like, hey, you guys grow stuff, I grow stuff. Let's try to put something together, and we did actually, and we actually made a very nice product. It's an adaptogen blend. It has rhodiola, it has ashwagandha, it has chaga, and it has CBD, echinacea, vitamin C, and vitamin D3.
Is that the one you gave me at the expo?
The little capsule?
No, this was the tincture.
Oh, the tincture is just rhodiola. I didn't give you a capsule. Oh, I'm sure. I'm sorry. I thought I.
No, it's okay. No, you gave me the rhodiola, the bath bomb, and I think that was it. But I was going to show you this.
Salve.
Go ahead. Oh, yes, and a sap. Yes, 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 yes. And I have that. I've been using it. But have you heard of Magic Mind?
I've not.
So this has rhodiola in it. It has a lot of other stuff. So I got this because of the nootropics. So I was curious about it. And I wanted to try it. I was like, oh, it has rhodiola. How perfect is that? Because I'm going to be talking to Jason today. But
Yeah,
I didn't know it had it in there. I didn't know it had rhodiola in it.
it's getting every time I turn around, I look at these new products are popping up on
Yeah.
all the different platforms. There's this AG1, there are all these different things. You look at it, they got rhodiola in it. Everything
Yeah.
has rhodiola in it. I think rhodiola by itself is great, but mixing it does benefit.
Speaking about mixing it, I know you're not a doctor, but let's talk about some of the health benefits that rhodiola can provide people. Can you talk a little bit about some of the research you've done and what you've found?
Yeah, what you started off with was great, actually. Kind of hit the nail on the head. It's great for anxiety, depression, energy. You start diving a little deeper. There's studies that it helps with the oxygen uptake in the
Mhm.
blood membrane. Like a lot of mountain climbers, a lot of Sherpas, they'll chew on rhodiola all the time while they're high in the mountains. Also, it's great for diabetes. People have like type 2 diabetes. It helps normalize diabetes. And also, there are studies with rhodiola helps with the apoptosis in our bodies. If you're familiar with what that is, basically it helps reduce oxidative damage and DNA fragmentation, which can lead to premature cell death. So by protecting the cell, it keeps it from going rogue and causing the cancerous cells that they become. It keeps the cell health stronger longer.
Yeah. And long-term use?
I mean, this plant, this is no new thing. It's been used for thousands of years.
Yeah.
So I think everything should be cycled, but 5 days a week is fine. I think I've been using it for, I mean, but I forget a lot of times. So I want to take it every day, but sometimes I forget. But I know people that do take it every day. But I suggest, like anything, something should be cycled, like a few days a week. Maybe take the weekends out, have it for the weekday.
Yeah. Yeah. I was taking, I'm out of it now. And I need to get some more. But I was taking yours before I worked out.
What'd you notice?
Well, I added it with cordyceps and I added it with Sun, which is another lung formula for running. I mean, I felt great. I loved it. So I wanted to get some more because I'm out of it. I used it all. I need to get some for the clinic too. I was just waiting till after the first of the year. But I like the rhodiola a lot. And I think it was great for working out. I don't know if I felt an energy like if I did like a shot of caffeine or something, like an espresso shot. But I did feel I just I felt like my run was easier, honestly. So yeah.
Were you taking a full dropper or half a dropper or?
I never really looked. I just would take the what do you call it?
If you would have asked me that, I would have told you.
I
The dropper,
the
the
dropper. Yes, I would just squeeze it once, and then I don't even think I looked. Then I would just drop it in my mouth. So I'm
yeah.
gonna
Usually
assume it
you
would be
give it
about a
half.
half.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. You think I
So
should take more?
you definitely could. So with a lot of the studies they've done, they claim 3% rosavins, 1% solidicides is the mark to use. So with this extract that's as pure as it is, I actually bring that down a little bit because
Uh,
it's so bioavailable. 3% at that level is if you were to take two full droppers, you'd notice a lot more.
yeah.
It's a lot, yeah. But I'm
Okay.
sensitive to these things, and so I kind of made this for people like me with anxiety that are sensitive to it. If you aren't sensitive, you can take a bunch, but
Yeah.
you really can't overdose on it. But the more you take, it's. I tell people to start off small, like a quarter of a dropper, and then work
Yeah.
your way up.
Okay.
I'm taking it for years, and I still only take between a half and a full, and a lot of times every day I just take a half. But if you in that tincture bottle, for example, to get to the 3% as they speak of, you have to actually take 1 1/3 to get to that level. I think it's too much for
Yeah.
myself, but
So what happens for you to you? What do you feel if you, because you said you were super sensitive. What do you feel when you take too much?
I get anxiety.
Yeah.
It's like a reverse, because I like to be calm, like just at my own pace. But rodeo, something, it gives me energy. Like my buddy's like, "Let's go," but like I don't want to go. Like I start to like have this internal battle of like, I don't. I'm trying to shut the cars all down and not like speed it up. So it's like this internal battle. I don't know. Not being a doctor, not knowing how it works. All I know is if I take too much, I can have the opposite effect on what I want.
Yeah. But if you take the right amount, it helps you with
Oh,
the anxiety.
tremendously. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah. And is that just rhodiola by itself?
My personal favorite is to mix it with CBD. CBD and
Mm,
rhodiolas, they're both adaptogens. People don't realize, but CBD is actually an adaptogen as well. It does fall into that category. And then mixing with the ashwagandha also is great. Those
yeah.
three are, when you mix them, they each do something a little bit different, and they all complement each other. So usually in the morning, my regimen is pretty simple. I just have a half a rhodiola tincture, and then just by itself, I don't mix with anything. And then just a 25 milligram broad spectrum gummy, just kind of like because I'm already, when I wake up with my ADHD stuff, it's just when I wake up, I'm already doing 100 miles an hour. So I'm trying to like all day long, like tame myself, pull myself back a little bit. Like
Yeah.
it's so for me, I just start in the morning. I try to pace myself, I guess.
Yeah. 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 So you just tell people, like for people listening, if they wanted to try rhodiola, your suggestion is to start out small and see how you respond to it and then go from
Yes,
there. Yeah.
I do that, and I suggest that with all herbs for sure, because some are more
Yeah.
than others.
Are there any side effects that you know of
I haven't heard of any. They say
besides
there's.
revving you up a little bit?
Oh yeah. What I haven't seen anything personal other than I know some folks that are actually ultramarathon runners that run a lot, and they take a lot of rhodiola. You can't
Mm,
overdose by any means, and
okay.
I was experimenting it for a while. I was taking like higher doses, cut it higher,
Mm-hmm.
and I started clenching my jaw, like
Mm,
just. And I've heard that through somebody else that also done the same thing. You just get a kind of a, you just realize you're biting really hard and you're clenching your jaw for some
mm,
reason, and
mm-hmm.
I'm not sure what causes that. But other than that, researchers have concluded that if you take a lot of it for a long time, high doses, that it can kind of mess with the platelet count in your blood, and you
Mm.
might be susceptible to bruising easier. But that was it.
Okay. You need to come up with a maybe and I know you have some friends that are ultra runners, and I'm a runner, so maybe you need to come up with a tincture or a capsule that is specifically for athletes in endurance sports.
Actually, I've already
Mm.
thought about that.
Yeah, cordyceps would be great. It's great for performance.
Yeah,
I don't know, maybe
and it'll be a gummy too. That
a
would be
gummy.
easier to take.
Yes. Yeah, it would be easier to take if you're on the trails or doing a
Hmm.
long race. Yeah, absolutely. With maybe
Yeah.
some even electrolytes in it. There's some good gummy products that I have that I take on the trails with me. So that would be really, really great.
Yeah, I would put some more adaptogen into it for sure, and maybe some the CBD people really like because it kind of helps with the inflammation, like the running of the joints
Yeah,
and the pounding of the knees. It kind of helps
yeah,
cushion that a little bit.
yeah, absolutely. So I'll be looking forward to that, Jason. You sell rhodiola online. Yeah,
Hmm. I do, yes.
yeah, yeah. And you have the tincture. Do you sell the capsules? I didn't see the capsules.
Yeah, I had the capsules right now though. The state of Alaska's I took them off for sale currently at the moment because it
Mm,
has CBD in it, and for the state of Alaska, everything has to be certified with them. They have to be approved. Well, there's been a few changes in the hemp program program. And so before I go forward, I can make sure everything's ironed out. So I'm just kind of, I'm selling the rhodiola right now, but all my CBD stuff I've kind of put on hold for a second. And it takes forever. It's all bureaucratic. So you get the people to answer their phones, and it just takes a little time. But they are on my website, but they will be phased out, and they're going to switch to a gummy.
So what are the regulations in Alaska? I mean, I know every state has their own rules. What is Alaska as far as like CBD?
So Alaska it's a kind of a unique state in the fact that we have legal cannabis. So you can go to the store if you're over 21. You don't have a medical card. You can just go in and purchase whatever you want. That falls under the directives of AMCO, which is Alaska Marijuana Control Board, and Alaska Alcohol Marijuana Control Board, and they cover all the cannabis stuff. Now hemp is different. Since 2018, it was put into a different category of its own, into industrial hemp. The industrial hemp program is ran by the state of Alaska, Division of Ag. So they're two separate. And just recently, though, AMCO is trying to pull the industrial hemp program under their umbrella into the cannabis side of things, which is, in my point of view, is not good, because it's not a drug. It doesn't get you high. I think it's a tax thing. They're just trying to tax it. Unfortunately, I don't know if it's greedy people or what's going on, but why they want to do that, I have no idea. But that's why I've kind of stopped for a minute selling my CBD, just till we figure out what's happening. So I guess to answer your question, we, on the state side of the industrial hemp side, it's very simple. It's very simple. If you're going to grow CBD here, you have to show them, where the seeds came from, and they look at the strain. They will approve it. You have to show them where you're growing it, give them a map, and fill out a application. And then to sell it, you need to become a retailer, which is a fee. You pay the state a fee, and then you have to submit C of A's to them and your label, and they have to prove the C of A and the label before you can sell a product. So it's not a crazy amount, but the state's trying to do the due diligence and keeping a decent CBD product on the shelf, and not letting the junk trickle in, I should say.
Yeah. When I look for CBD products, I'm always overwhelmed by the amount of products that says it has CBD in it. And it is a buzzword right now. It is a kind of trending marketing. I mean, it's trending right now. So I feel like you have to be careful with the products that you choose, because some people just might be not telling the truth.
Yes, I 100%. And when you look at CBD products, they should have a QR code on them, and that QR code should direct you directly to a C of A of the batch that's in that bottle, and that batch should have been tested prior to being bottled by a lab to say, yes, you indeed are getting 100 milligrams per dose or 50 milligrams per dose. You're getting what you paid for. And you're also, what the terpene profile is, and that it's under 0.3% THC. Or if you are kind of like, I have a CDL because I've been in the trucking industry and the farming industry, so I can take CBD all day long as long as it's broad spectrum, which is 0% THC. They can't really test you for terpene, or they can't really test you for CBD in general, because our bodies produce CBD. We have our own endocannabinoid system.
I learned about that QR code. Kimberly Phipps Nickel was on my podcast, and she opened my eyes to the QR code. So I thought that was really, really great, because I don't sell CBD products in my clinic right now, because people ask me about them. I haven't done my research on the products to know like what to tell people. So part of you guys being on my podcast is me learning as well. And hopefully I will one day carry those products in my clinic. I have another friend. He started a company, and It's called Wild Sense, and it's for endurance athletes. So he has like a CBD cream. He's working on a sunscreen. He has a bath bomb for recovery. He has some chafing cream for people who, when you run, you tend to chafe. So he has that, and I'm sure he'll expand the line. So he's been talking a lot about the process, which I find just very tedious, and the things that you guys have to do to just get your product out there is just incredible. And especially if you're going to take your product and sell it into different states with the CBD, because that's all different too. Like, how do you ship from Alaska to, Texas or Wyoming, or, like, that's all very different as well. So it seems like a very tedious process, and you don't realize what kind of work that you guys actually put in to doing all of this. So I think it's super great, because there's so many spots in the journey that you could get very discouraged and just say, okay, I'm done,
Yeah, I can understand that for sure.
Yeah. So, but this is great. I think you're doing awesome stuff. Do you have anything else you want to say about rhodiola? And
I guess I think it's a wonderful adaptogen and a nootropic. Helps you adapt to stress and energy. It gives you energy. It helps you cognitively think better.
Yeah.
It helps your cognitive function. So you're kind of takes away the brain fog, so to say. I think having it mixed with other things is really good, but it's good by itself as well. So we're always playing with new things. I'll have a gummy coming out soon. It's going to have some different things in it. I think I'll have a few different ones. And I've been using the tincture, but and it's nice and it's easy. But I think people just really like gummies, and for just the necessity of just it's easy to take with the gummy.
So are you not going to have the tincture anymore? You're just going to have the gummies?
I might keep the tincture because it is easy to make. But I think because it is, people like to have in their tea as well. So I think I might keep the tincture, but the capsules, they're going to be phased out, and they're going to go into a gummy form. I think the rodeo by itself is so easy to make in the tincture form. I think I'll probably keep the bottles around.
Yeah.
But the capsules that I have, they're going to go to a gummy.
Okay. And what is the price point for the rhodiola?
My rhodiola is a little bit more expensive than the stuff you're going to find on the shelf. Now that is because it's certified organic.
Mm-hmm.
It's grown in Alaska. It's supercritical CO2 extracted. I personally make everything from the seed to the harvest to the extraction. Well, I work with a group that does the extraction for me, but I kind of ask them how to we come up with a plan of how to do it, and so they use their machines to do it for me. And once it's extracted, we'll send it in, and I'll have the lab. They have a really nice lab, a certified organic lab, and I'll have them bottle my things for me instead of shipping it back, because it's just easier having that facility there at my at the disposal, I guess, so to say.
Yeah.
It's just I guess I got off track. My price point is higher, but the quality that you're getting with it is the highest it's the highest that you can obtain in the rodeo product. But that does not have alcohol. It has three ingredients. It has water, rhodiola, and certified vegetable glycerin from flaxseed. That is the preservative, and it's the simplest that you'll see.
Yeah, I really like the taste of it. I'm used to herbs and tinctures, so I'm not sure what other people think, but it's sweet. It still tastes herby, but I really enjoy it. I really like the taste of it. I crave it. I think that says something, I mean, when I wake up in the morning, I'm like, the rhodiola, I crave it. That's super cool. And I definitely we need to talk about getting some in the clinic, especially after this, because everybody's going to want it.
I hope so.
So before we wrap up, tell all of the listeners the key points of why you would take rhodiola, right? You talked a little bit about anxiety for you. I've talked a little bit about sports performance for me, but what are some of the main bullet points of why somebody would take rhodiola? I know in the beginning I touched on adaptogenic herbs in general, but what would you recommend rhodiola for? Like just a few specific things besides anxiety. I think you said depression. Yeah. So what are just a few conditions?
Just recently I met some folks and I was telling about it, and they were telling me they were stressed at their job. And so I gave them a bottle. I said, here, just try it, see what you think. I don't think we got to this point, but I need to mention this, that highly suggest rhodiola taking in the morning to maybe early afternoon, nothing past, I say 3 o'clock, because it can affect your sleep. Not everybody's this will affect, but it does affect me. And it has affected some other people I know. So I always highly recommend taking it in the morning hours and early afternoon, but nothing past 2 or 3, because by that time it's run its course. It's about 6 hours when I normally feel. So I want to throw that in really quick. So so back to people I run into, I just meet just randomly, and we'll just eat, and they'll say they're tired, or they have to take a nap in the afternoon. So have you tried anything natural for that? Because they all drink coffee or energy, or they just these Red Bulls or something. And so I'll give them a bottle and say, here, try this. And it's about 80% is really the 20% people don't notice anything, but there's 80% people that do notice a positive impact of yes, I'm getting the day better, I'm not as tired, I feel better. I know there's several people I gave samples to at our Alaska State Fair. They didn't tell me that headaches. I gave them a sample, and they would all say, "Oh, my headache's gone." And there was 5 women within a few days that came in. I gave them samples, and I had no idea they had headaches, but I gave them samples, and within 15 seconds, "Oh, my headache's gone. This is incredible." So I guess for every day,
you'd say probably the top reason somebody might take rhodiola is fatigue.
Fatigue, and then fatigue for sure. Fatigue. And there's also rhodiola gives you once you kind of hit that magic point, what it does for your system, it kind of gives you it just feel really good. I'm trying to think of the word. Gosh, it's escaping me. When you just everything, you just feel calm and everything just feels good.
So stress for sure. It definitely helps with stress and fatigue. Yeah.
It's killing me. I can't think of this word. I use it all the time to describe rhodiola in its highest moments, when you feel your grandest when you're taking it.
And how long do you have to take rhodiola before you see results? Is it right away?
Yeah, some people notice it right away. Some people it might take a week. Some people take some longer, but I think that's one thing with mine compared to others. It's so potent. You're getting such a large amount real quick, so you do notice it faster. I had a friend, she was in Florida, and she was taking the Gaia brand for a while, which I recommend. It's a good brand. And then she came to Alaska, and I gave her some of my stuff, and she was like, "Wow, there's no comparison. Like the Gaia's stuff is okay, but she says your stuff is much stronger. I felt an impact much quicker." So that was, that was just like, here, try the Gaia for a while, then try mine. See what you think.
I think I was the one that I could feel it right away, because when you gave it to me at the expo, I felt it right away. I got a little like rush of heat. I was like, oh.
Yeah, you felt it. It's like it wasn't you didn't feel bad. You weren't like nervous. It's like, oh, this is not bad. This is different. This is and you kind of go with it, and you're like, oh, it just kind of relaxes you.
Yeah. And I definitely needed to be relaxed after that expo.
Oh, that's a whole other podcast.
That's a whole other podcast. Oh my gosh. Did you ever do the other one?
No,
you had 3.
I did one in Phoenix, I did one in Houston, and one in Dallas. Phoenix actually I thought was the worst, turned out to be the best. I thought Dallas was gonna be good. It was the worst. Well, Houston and Dallas are tied for the worst.
Yeah. Well, do you know that they completely took Houston off of their website?
Oh yeah, I wonder why. I tried to call them a few times, and they won't answer the phone
Yeah.
calls anymore. I think.
I tried to call too. They wouldn't answer my phone calls. I think that happened to a lot of people. And then some people went on the Better Business Bureau and gave them a review, and they came back and attacked them on the Better Business Bureau. I was like, oh my gosh, this is awful. So yeah, and then I went and looked at their website because I was going to give them a call again or shoot them an email, and it was gone. So yeah,
Yeah, that was a very. I did a lot of research before I went to that thing, and I think you
I
did
did.
too.
I did too. I went back and found the email. So I registered for that event before COVID. So I was supposed to do that in 2020 in April, but obviously it didn't happen because we shut down. So I was supposed to do it in 2021, but I didn't want to do 2021 because I didn't feel like we were all back out and, you know, living our lives again. So I waited until 2022. And I went back and found the email because the whole time I was sitting there, I was like, how did I get myself into this? How did I register for this? And I went and found the email, and I was like, this is why I registered for this, right? Because everything that they said was just amazing. So yeah, I did find that, and I did my research too. So
Yeah, I went online. I went on YouTube. I found like footage from people. Oh, there was before the pandemic. Like there was a lot. Like when we were there, the aisles are empty. Like you're like looking around, like where's the people? Like there's no people.
yeah,
And when I was, if I would have saw it like that, I would have been no way am I doing this. But
right.
there was like, and there was New Jersey, and there was some. There's some different places that I seen, and there was the aisles were bustling. There was a lot of traffic. There was people out, but not now. Not now.
Yeah.
Not no more.
Well, lesson
You,
learned.
you got
Lesson.
you got lucky. You only went to one close, and I did several around the country. I had one in Jacksonville that I didn't go to. That was
Yeah.
just a few weeks ago. But there was no sense in me going from Alaska to Jacksonville to stand there and look in with nobody, no attendance, and I wasn't going to spend that kind of money.
Was it the same company, the same
Yeah,
expo? Yeah.
yeah. I was supposed to
Yeah.
go to it before Houston. Houston was supposed to be the last one, but there was a hurricane in Florida, so they postponed it.
Got it.
And so
Wow.
after Houston, I said, you know what? I'm going back to Alaska. I called them. I said, I did three. I paid you for four. So I'm not gonna go. I'm gonna complain that too bad, but just refund me that
Yeah.
last one because I'm not gonna go to it.
Did they
Well, no,
refund
we
you?
don't. No, they said, well, we have to sell your slot. So I talked to the one person. He says, oh yeah, we're full. We're already selling stuff out in the lobby. It's all great. Then sell my spot. And they're like, oh well, it doesn't work that way. It's like, well, how about you just give that? Obviously, they're just talking heads. They're just
Yeah.
salesmen.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. Well, I guess it was meant to be, but silver lining. I got to meet you out of it and learn more
We got to do a
about
little.
rodeo.
The funny thing
Danielle.
was, we met Danielle, yes,
Yeah, we met
and
Danielle.
then the gal that was making the soaps. Danielle invited us
Yes.
to her grand opening, and that other gal that made the soaps also went to the Houston
Yes.
Expo, Women's Expo prior year, and had a horrific same problem.
I think it was a trigger for her to hear our experience. But that was fun though. That was fun. It was fun meeting Danielle and doing the whole Yoga 6.
Oh, she was so fun. She was such a ball of energy.
Oh yeah, yeah. I really like her a lot. So that was fun. So that was something good that came out of it. So it wasn't all bad. Yeah.
Yeah, silver linings. So I think I want to close. Rodeo really gives you vitality. It's something that
Okay.
it helps with the adrenal glands. So it helps block cortisol. So as as you go through life and you start to get wore down by everyday life, you're just getting like you just get wore down. Coworkers, family, whatever, and then you start getting just wore down more and more, and then like something's got to change. So that's when you kind of start reaching for adaptogens because you need some help with the stress, and
Yeah.
whether it be mental, physical, physiological stress, it helps with those. So as you kind of rebound, and then you start to get feeling better. Then you get to a certain point, and you're like, oh my, I feel great again, and that's when you're achieving vitality. Like, oh, like this is what I've been missing. Like I could have quit letting people wear me down, but also, I got to take care of myself, and having the adaptogens, they help with the same thing. They help you adapt to the stresses that we have to go through to keep you sane and keep you positive
and functioning.
Yes.
If you can lower your stress in any way, it's better for your health, because stress is such it just wreaks havoc on the whole body. So many things come out of stress, and long-term stress, right? So anything you can do to lower that is good. Helps your vitality. Yes. You know what I find sometimes in the clinic because I do a lot of herbal formulas, and some of these, like adaptogenic herbs, or just some of my other formulas, depending on what somebody's coming in for, if somebody's coming in for sleep, the measure of whether the herbs are working or not is if they sleep better, right? So sometimes people come in for conditions where it's really hard to test and measure what's happening and how they're feeling, and how they're responding to the herbs. But sometimes the herbs work really in subtle ways. And I have a few formulas that when people take them, they'll take them for a couple of months, and then they decide to stop taking them. And then that's when they realized how much the herbs were working. So I don't know if you've had that experience with rhodiola, but it's pretty common in the clinic. It's like we don't see what's happening until they stop.
100%. And that's what I tell people when they start to try it. I'd say, try it for a week. And then if you don't feel anything, we'll stop for a few days. That's when you'll notice what rhodiola is doing for you. You're like, oh, I get it now.
Yeah. Well, cool. Well, this has been great. Do you have anything else to say before we wrap it up?
No, this is my first interview with rhodiola, so
it's good.
Trying to get through it.
No, it was good. It's good information, and I think it's super cool that you're growing it, and you're growing it in Alaska, and you're kind of the what do you call it? The
vertically integrated. It's from seed to shelf. We do everything. We're the supplier, the grower, everything.
Yeah. So I think it's cool to have a conversation, because like I said, there's so much that goes on behind the scenes that most people don't even know about, and they don't even know the questions to ask a lot of the time. So no, I think this is really great. And I love your rhodiola. I've had success with it. So I highly recommend it, and we got to get some in the clinic.
Yeah. I think if they're currently taking rhodiola and they like it, that's good. They just need to know where it's coming from. Is it coming from China? Is it coming from Siberia? But right now, what's going on in Russia and Ukraine, the sanctions are on. There's not any rhodiola coming out of Russia or Siberia anytime soon. So it's going to be coming from China. So it's going to be, you'll know what you're going to get at this point. So you have to be very careful in the suppliers.
Yeah, yeah. And you are in the United States, so U.S. made in the USA.
It sure is. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, good. So tell people how they can get in touch with you. And do you want people to follow you on Instagram? I know I follow you on Instagram. Like, how do you want people to, and where do you want people to follow you?
Yeah, I'm terrible at that stuff. I'm learning about social media. That's my next chapter. So I make everything from planting to my labels to my website. I do everything myself. The marketing is the next thing I'm working on. But I do a website. It's at Alaska Borealis mountainfarms.com. I know it's long, but it's what I have. I guess I should have thought about that when I was naming it. I was going to have a website that long. But yeah, you can find me at AlaskaWestMountainFarms.com. I do have social media, but I'm so bad. I guess I should have wrote this down. I don't even know I don't even know how to find it.
I know it's Alaska Borealis Mountain Farms. Yeah. And I'll put it in the show notes. Are you on Facebook?
Yeah, and then again, I'm lacking, but I do have one. Yeah. Same thing. And Borealis is spelled Borealis. It's kind of a different word that people don't seem to use. You don't hear all the time. But in Alaska, we have Aurora Borealis. We have Borealis 4. Of Aurora Borealis, we have boreal forests. So Borealis is, it's kind of more common here.
Do you ever have problems with bears eating the plants?
No. I've had some moose smell it and kind of lick it a little bit. The cool thing about rhodiola is I haven't yet to find a problem with moose or bears or rabbits, or nothing seems to bother it.
Okay.
Which is wonderful because it's out in the wide open in the field. So the moose could eat the whole crop in a few weeks if they wanted to.
So but it's the root, right? So the roots grow underground, and so that's the part you use. I'm sure it has some foliage. I'm not sure, or does
right? It's a succulent, so it's got thick, fleshy leaves and flowers. Yeah. So I guess if the moose were to eat the stalks, I mean it's not getting photosynthesis, so it's not helping the plant grow. So it's going to inhibit it.
I see.
But
you got to watch those moose. I told you the story about when I went to Alaska to support a friend in a triathlon, and we had to I was going to run the last 7 miles with him, and we had to have bear bells and bear spray, but they said you have to also watch out for the moose. And I think when I looked it up online, I was more scared of the moose than I was scared of the bears.
Rightly so. If you make noise, the bears kind of go the other way. Moose are the same way. They're just creatures that they walk around looking for food and looking for naps, and they're just going through their daily life. And then they see like a person, but they don't know it as a person. They see it as a threat. Yeah. And so then they come on the offensive. And moose have got those long legs, and it's I've never been kicked by a moose. Almost kicked by a few cows, but I give them distance. I just give them their distance.
Yeah, sounds important. Okay, well, Jason, thank you so much for spending the time and talking about rhodiola and its health benefits and your farm. And you'll have to come back. Also, I have to tell you that and this was not by design, but you were the first guy that has been on my podcast.
Oh, really? Wow.
So thank you for that. That wasn't by design. It's just most of the people that I know and contact, they're usually women. Mostly women are in the health and wellness space. So this has been fun, and I'm excited and hopefully I will have more gentlemen on my podcast in the future. So you'll have to come back whenever you get some of your other products going.
Yeah, I like that. And, okay.
So thank you so much, and have a good one.
All right. Thank you, Sherry.
If you like what you hear, please subscribe to the podcast and share with your family and friends. You can also give me a rating and review wherever you listen to your podcast. It helps other people find me as well. To get updates on new episodes and wellness inspiration in your inbox, please join the Wellness Inspired community. Go to wellnessinspiredpodcast.com to sign up. I'll put the link in the show notes so you can click and join. Also, there is a Facebook community at The Wellness Inspired, and you can follow me on Instagram at wellness_inspired. If you're in the Houston area or visiting and interested in acupuncture, herbal medicine, cupping, or dry needling, please contact us. You can find out more on our website at element5om.com. That's element5, the number 5om.com. And again, I'll put the link in the show notes. If you're interested in health and wellness coaching, we can connect in the clinic or on Zoom. Reach out to us and we'll get you on the schedule. And as always, I would love to hear your feedback. I am dedicated to bringing you great content that is inspiring and informative with an artsy, fun, and edgy spin. Thank you so much for listening. We'll meet here again next time. And remember, never stop exploring, learning, loving, and being you. Bye.